everyone, welcome to our vlog. So in this video we're going to have an interview with our co-youths on what were their insights about the gender issues that were happening now in our country. The only thing is we're going to have a virtual interview because of this pandemic.
In today's video, I'm going to discuss about gender issues not just in our society but also in our country. We already know that Philippines has a number of individuals, especially in difficult circumstances. This includes women in armed conflict, women and men victims of domestic violence, women in prostitution, individuals in prison, same-sex marriage, sexual violence, gender discrimination between gay and lesbians, and such issues that may be included in it. The gender issues in our society was very popular, and it has more issues including men, women, especially in informal gender like gays and lesbians that has more effect in our society. In women, it's more abusive and discrimination that they fear to encounter. Women has known to have a weak physically, but they have strong in heart. Women issues in Philippines are inequality treated to men.
Right now, I am going to discuss one of the gender issues in the Philippines. The Philippines has a number of women and especially difficult circumstances. This includes women involved in armed conflict. Throughout history, women and girls have frequently been targeted for violence, particularly sexual violence, during times of war. They also have been excluded for efforts to prevent and resolve conflicts. Despite increased local and international awareness and mobilization, women and girls in conflict face a variety of challenges. Women are frequently left out due to a lack of high-level leadership committed to integrating women's rights, including in Security Council negotiations and peace talks. Moreover, despite the increased risk of violence faced by the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender or LGBT individuals, and women with disabilities in armed conflict, they are frequently marginalized in policy and programming, leaving them out of decision-making processes and unable to access services.
Here's my insight about sexual violence, which is one of the gender issues that is present nowadays. So, sexual violence is prudent nowadays. Women being raped, harmed, and being treated like a pig. Laws were existing to protect these women against this violence. But how about men experiencing this trauma? Sexual assault is no way related to the sexual orientation of the perpetrator or the survivor and a person's sexual abuse or assault. Sexual assaults can happen to anyone, no matter your age, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Men and boys who have been sexually assaulted or abused may have many of the same feelings and reactions as the other survivors of sexual assault, but they may also face some additional challenges because of social attitudes and stereotypes about men and masculinity.
One of the gender issues in our country is women in prostitution, or known as pokpok in vernacular. Prostitution in the Philippines is illegal, but somewhat tolerated. With law enforcement being rare with regards to sex workers, prostitute women sell sexual services in order to earn money. The vast majority of prostitute workers choose to do that work because it is the best option they have. Many prostitute workers struggle with poverty and destitution, and few other options for work. Others find that sex work because it offers better pay and more flexible working conditions than other jobs, and some pursue this work to explore and express their sexuality. The effects of women in prostitution was associated with increased risk for blood-borne viral infections, sexually transmitted diseases, and mental health symptoms. And also, it is common in our country doing an abortion. Some prostitute women do abortion because they don't have enough money to raise their children, and they will also provide their family needs, and the other reason are overpopulation.
I just want to share the gender issue of sexual harassment. This sexual harassment is a violence that can occur in a workplace.
manifested as verbal, visual, gestural, and physical sexual harassment. Sexual harassment, it includes sexist remarks, propositions, coercive pressure of sexual activity, and assault. The physical forms of sexual harassment includes touching, patting, punching, brushing of the woman's body, and physical sexual assaults. You know, sexual harassment is an extreme form of sexism and has been shown to result in fear, anger, anxiety, shame, reduced productivity, and reduced performance. Sexual harassment is a form of discrimination and violence. This kind of harassment is a form of gender discrimination. Despite this protection of sexual harassment, victims still face tremendous hurdles in assessing and exercising their civil rights in the workplace. Often victims believe they must put up and respond positively to the behavior to keep their job, to hired, and to be promoted.
And today, I will tell you something about violence against women. Violence against women means that it is rooted in gender-based discrimination, social norms, and gender stereotypes. Usually, men are socially regarded as being of the higher value. This asymmetrical situation is present in many areas of social life and can lead to violence like physical, verbal, and psychological. Mostly, women around the world have experienced violence at some point in their life, and it can happen at the workplace. However, the best way to end violence against women is to prevent it from happening in the first place by addressing its root and structural causes. Prevention should start early in life by educating and working with the young boys and girls and promoting respectful relationships and gender equality.
And I'm going to discuss you the problem here in the Philippines, which is gender issue. And now I choose the girl's ability. Girls' self-esteem, ambition, and expectation are the first victim of gender stereotypes and gender biases. Therefore, eradicating clutches and their associated behavior should be a priority for any society and should begin in school. Some initiative advocates introducing female role models into classroom as a step. For me, solution lies in education. Example, curricula, textbook, and teacher training program should be periodically viewed to ensure that gender stereotypes are not prepared and within schools. The role of teachers become essential when it comes to providing quality gender-related education and promote student welfare and respect for professionals.
So we talk about the gender and society. One of the example of gender and society is discrimination, which is discrimination in gender. If you are dili ka saying nila og like gay ka or unsalan ka, mas naadiha ang pagdaog-daog sa usa ka tawo diha nimo kung like for example in school nang dili malikayan sa eskwelahan, like kung ang imuhang mga classmates or barkada makabalog mambayad ka or unsalan ka, ilaha kang sulog-sulogon, ilaha kang daog-daogon in school. And because of the discrimination, there are lots of people who na-depress sila or na-stress sila tungkol sa mga tungkol po sa mga isig katawo. And that would be all. Thank you for watching.